Hello everybody and welcome back to Tomb Raider. We are here in our new area, the Summit Forest. We just found our way out of the Solari Fortress. We've lost Roth and the rest of our friends have taken off to try and find a boat to help us get off the island. So this is another really big area. As you can see, it's got quite a few things to collect. It also has a new challenge for us. And so we just need to find our way through here in order to advance on. I went ahead and I slept at the bonfire, saved my game, and there should be another one relatively close by as well that we can find. For the most part in this area, I like to do all of my collecting later on. Unless it's something obvious, like this sitting right in front of my face.
This Chinese dagger is extremely old. Dad had a similar one in his collection dating from 854 BC.
So if there's anything that's really, really obvious, I will grab it. But this area has a lot of enemies, and I would definitely recommend stealth. Once I've cleared out the area and all the enemies are gone and whatnot, then that's when I kind of like to do my full sweep of the area and pick up all the collectibles and whatnot. But this first part of the map here with this crashed plane is safe, so you can pick up a couple of things here if you want before moving on.
Find anything? No, it's too damn dark. They could be anywhere.
You sure they're here? Maybe I should just climb a tree and wait this out. Great fucking wolves.
And more Solari. Why are we not surprised?
Come out. Show yourselves.
So these guys are pretty easy to see because they've got flashlights. Just kind of waiting for them to disperse a little bit. I want to pick them off one by one. This guy here, we should be able to just take him out. He shouldn't see us or give us much trouble. And then what I like to do is I like to veer off right towards the trees, and I like to do kind of a loop. And it's pretty easy to keep your distance here and use your bow to zoom in, and you can get a nice clean shot from far away before they're able to spot you, because there are quite a few Solari in this area, and if one of them sees you, then they'll all be out to get you. I find this area a little bit difficult to navigate, simply for the fact that everything kind of looks the same. And there's also a lot of climbing ropes and using ropes as zip lines and things like that that we can do in order to access higher areas in the treetops. But that can get kind of hectic if you're not quite sure where to go. So those guys are kind of grouped together. If I take out the guy in the back, his buddy shouldn't be alarmed. There we go. We've got a guy on the hill. There should be another guy up there with him. And then we'll have a couple of guys coming out from the exit of this area, the next place we need to go. So there's still a couple of them that we need to take out. And I do believe also that there is a possibility that there could be some wolves in the mix as well. But I think that's only if you break your stealth. If you have the Solari come to find you, I do believe that's also an opportunity for the wolves to come out and attack you as well. So I'll loot these bodies later. I just really want to make sure I take care of these guys and I'm totally safe before I go and explore and be totally free here. Should take care of all the guys on the ground. Well, there's actually a guy over there. I don't know where he came from, but take care of him as well. God, they're everywhere. I say they're gone and then more pop up and... Shit. I didn't kill that guy. So now you can see we've got wolves after us, we've got the Solari after us. I guess I should have really made a better shot there. Should have taken my time. I was getting a little bit hasty at that point, which is totally my fault. But we shouldn't have that many more Solari to deal with. My problem is the wolves, because it's really hard to hit them with a melee weapon. And I would really like to do that just to get them out of my face, but... Solari aren't so much a problem. I can hit them with pretty much anything I've got, but wolves are really a pain in the butt. And it gets kind of disorientating because you've got wolves after you, you've got Solari, you've got guys throwing Molotovs at you. But for the most part, I took care of like the majority of the guys, so at least now, once I take care of these guys, that should be it, and I shouldn't have any more trouble. So if you do manage to get through the whole area untouched, then it makes this a whole lot easier. But if not, make sure you take out the majority of them first. Use my grenade launcher just for fun. Bow is of course totally recommended for this area if you're trying to be stealthy. And I don't hear anybody else. Okay, Lara will get up, and that usually indicates that it's safe. So, kinda mucked it up at the end there. That was totally my mistake. But now, we didn't die or anything like that. Almost, close call, but we made it. Just gonna go back and we're going to loot these bodies and then carry on. So should be able to find lots of good stuff. There was quite a few guys that we killed. Refill on all of our ammo. We can also go and loot those wolves that we killed as well if I'm able to find their carcasses. And then we also have a bonfire here as well. So diary here.
Storm Guard warriors, today we stand on the brink of a great change.
So again, get a little bit more history about this so-called Sun Queen. Sounds like a cult to me. And if you go ahead and you use your vision and you have the upgrade available where it will mark off stuff on your map, then that's always a good idea too. Because then you can go back, I can look at my map and I can see what it is that I missed. You can see I missed a whole bunch of stuff in this corner. And then there should be a bunch of stuff right in the middle of the forest as well. So I'll just start looking around. I may have to come back and do the challenge later. It's not necessarily a difficult challenge by any means. The challenge comes in that everything looks the same. This is a very big area, and the collectibles are quite small. They're all a bunch of little mushrooms, and they're found really, really hidden and kind of tucked away. So I might actually have to take time on my own to go around and look around to find where they are. I could just go ahead and start anyways and find the ones that I come across, like this one for example on this cliff, but then the problem becomes that they're not marked on your map. So if I collect 8 for example, there's 10 in total, and I'm looking for those last 2 and I just cannot seem to find them, then that's gonna just become more of a problem. So doesn't look like there's anything really around here. We do have a lot of higher ground in this area. There's a lot of collectibles hiding up on cliffs and stuff like that. So I guess we'll just kind of start climbing and using our rope and having a look around to see what it is that we can find. Some ammo here. Take out our shotgun. I'm really not doing this in any sort of order. This is just sort of unorganized chaos here. Collectible on this cliff.
An ancient Chinese dagger, probably around 100 AD. How long have ships been crashing on this island?
So that's 2 of 3 daggers. We'll get a big bonus when we find the last one of those. So let's go through the area that we destroyed with the shotgun. This takes a great deal of timing. As you can see, we are able to slide down this area and there's a wall that we can grab onto. But if you jump too soon, you'll miss the wall and you'll land in the water. So let's see if I can do this. There we go, just barely. Sometimes I screw that up real bad, so I'm glad I managed to get that on the first try, because it is kind of annoying to keep having to go back. And all there really is up here is just a collectible. We have a GPS cache there. Get all those parts and all that salvage. Burn that and grab it. There's also a tomb around here somewhere that we can go and find. Have a look around for that as well. So little stuff like this, where unless you're going over everything with a fine-tooth comb, that would be a very easy collectible to miss. It's a little tiny cache hidden in a big body of water. You can barely see that glow there. So that's why having the upgrade that reveals everything as you walk around is so incredibly helpful. So we have one more relic, 2 more caches. We have a tomb left and 1 more document, so we're actually not doing too bad. And this area does stretch out a little bit farther as well. So let's climb up here and we can grab that cache. And then we'll just have 1 more to find. And while we're here, for fun, let's go ahead and check out the treetops. So as you can see, there's a lot of different places you can go, you can connect to using different ropes and things like that. I guess this would also be a good strategy to use when you're trying to hunt down all of the Solari. You could go ahead and just use the treetops kind of thing, if that's what you want to do. Not really seeing a whole lot else. Obviously there's one kind of over here, but I'm not quite sure how to get to at the moment. This might be an area that we'll have to come back to, simply for the fact that, as I had mentioned in one of the previous videos, it's been a very long time since I've played this. And it's not a difficult game by any means. The challenge, of course, comes in trying to locate everything, and my memory's not as good as it is when it comes to collectibles. So we might have to come back and just find the remainder of the collectibles. Here's our tomb that we can go and explore. We can also look in here, because there might be something in here. There's a strong box in here. So get some supplies out of this box here. And it looks like that's actually it, but that's okay. I definitely don't mind getting more parts. And for the most part, I think we've done a pretty good job of exploring this area so far. And then if we head towards this area here, this is going to be the next point that we have to go to. Well, we might as well try the tomb while we're here. There's no sense in having to come back and re-explore this area and take a really long time. If we don't need to do that, we'll just come back and do the challenge at a later date, come pick up some of the collectibles and move on, rather than coming back and doing the tomb as well. Backtracking is kind of necessary in this game, I feel. Sometimes you don't want to be stuck in an area for a long time, or there's just something you can't find, or you need to come back with an upgrade or something like that. But I don't necessarily like to do a lot of backtracking. I like to kind of keep it short and sweet. Hopefully when I see this tomb, my memory will trigger and I'll remember what it is we have to do. I think this one is actually pretty simple. This has to do with the gas and the flame arrows. And of course here we also have our last campfire in this area. I think it counts. Yeah, it does count for this area, so we have that. So we're going to start by burning this debris. And that should allow us to climb up that wall. The gas will blow up that debris for us. I'm going to quickly run through the gas before it has a chance to come back. And then there should be more debris up here. And I think you can just burn this normally with just fire. Should just catch fire. Like so. And then we can climb onto the wall and get up here. You don't even really need the gas, you just need it for that first part. So that is probably the simplest tomb you will ever run into in this game. It takes all of, 2 seconds to actually finish. And the treasure isn't any less awesome, which is even better. So we'll get our usual bout of experience. We'll get our relic map, which will show me everything that I'm missing, our final cache, and our document, and our relic and whatnot. So now my question is, how in the heck do I get down from here? I wonder if I can just jump back to that plank of wood. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So, still looking like a bit of a long drop. I guess I'll just destroy the gas, clear the way, and just climb back down the way I came. Lara can jump very, very far, but unfortunately she's very squishy. She can't survive long drops all that well. Her and Nathan Drake have that in common. I've been playing Uncharted in my spare time, and I see a lot of similarities between the two, even though they're made by different companies. A Tomb Raider Uncharted cross game would be amazing, I'm just saying. So now that we have everything highlighted on our map, it's going to be very easy for us to go back and get the rest of the collectibles. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to refamiliarize myself with where it is that I can find all 10 of the mushrooms for our challenge in the area. And then that way we can just quickly finish up this area in the next video before we move on to the next part of the forest and we get on the tail of our friends and whatnot. So I want to thank you all so very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that I will see you